quite know what we were doing actually. So Brooke was just like, why don't you come to talk to the group about health and wellness and then maybe lead them through the workout. So basically, here's what I was thinking. So I know the kids gonna get restless, so I'm gonna keep this real short, all right? I'll keep it real short. In 2006, I was traveling around the country motivating speakers because I'm a motivational speaker, professional speaker by trade, and I used to think that money was your number one asset. If you made enough money, all of your problems would be solved. And here I was at 400 pounds, running around, and I'll tell you what happened to me one day. All right, so let me tell you what happened one day. And then I don't know if any of you can really relate to a story like this, but what happened to me one day, I was flying back from Missouri, Joplin, Missouri, and I couldn't fit in the seatbelt. And at that particular time, I couldn't fit in the seatbelt. I asked the flight attendant to give me a belt extender, the ones that give you the seatbelt extension to give you more seatbelt. And she embarrassed me. She said, "You need a belt extender." And it was one of those small planes, and everybody on the plane looked at me. Everybody. And at that point, I decided that I never wanted to feel that way again. Because I realized that I had been lying to myself. Here I was trying to motivate other people, but I couldn't motivate myself. So I decided at that particular point, if you want, they say insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. I decided if I wanted to get something different, I had to do something different. So I applied to be on The Biggest Loser. And I'm gonna give y'all one story, and then we're gonna work out. And I gotta ask you a question about this story. All of you got to make a choice today, and here it is. So here's the story. So now, when I got to Biggest Loser, now I want y'all to listen carefully, because at the end of this story, there's something for you. Are y'all ready? Now, all the kids, I want y'all to listen to this story too. So y'all tell me what you would do. Okay. Here it is. So I drive up to Norfolk, Virginia, to go to the Biggest Loser audition. All right. So when I get out of the car, I get the audition is at 10 o'clock. I get there at 8 o'clock, and I think I'm early, but I'm not. There are thousands. It looks like thousands of people in line. Okay. So when I get out of the car, I walk up to the line. Now get this picture. Come here, bro. Come here, bro. All right. So now let's say the line is right there. All right. Now I walk up to the line. Walk with me, bro. Now I don't know Brooke. This is another lady. So she walks up. I'm in front of her. Now, the line stopped right here. Now, I could get in the line before her, right? But I decide, you go before me. You get in line. Okay, now, she gets in line before me. That's very important to the story. All right, Brooke, thank you. Right. So get this. Throughout the day, we find out, we're out there 8 hours. 8 hours, y'all. There are thousands of people. By the time the end of the day, by the time midday comes, there's 7,500 people out there. 7,000 people. And you got to understand, the 7,000 people, it's some big folk out there, large people. We all became friends. It was so funny because we were ordering pizza and Chinese food to the line. I mean, can you imagine somebody, pizza guy come up and say, "Hey, I got a supreme pizza," and all you see is just big folk just standing around. So anyway, so get this picture. So we were going back and forth to the bathroom, to the restroom all day long, right? We find out about 11:30 that the casting director said this: we are only going to see 750 people today. That's it. Now it's 7,000 people in line. 750. But nobody moved. Nobody moved. Because everybody was like, "Well, you go ahead and go home. I get your spot." Now get this. So we're like, I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to make it. You know how a lot of times when you look at life, you look at the circumstances, things going on in your life, you have the money, the job, everything's going on with you. And by your naked eye, it looks like that you won't make it. But and that's where your faith comes in. So I was like, I'm not gonna make it. I called my wife, I was like, I'm not gonna make it. She's like, you just gotta believe it. And now here I am, a speaker, and she's telling me you gotta believe it. Sometimes, y'all, you need somebody to help you along the way. I don't care where you are. You need somebody to walk with you, to push you, to pull you, whatever it takes. So here's what happened. So we find out that there are a lot of people, there are 1,000 people in line, but what you don't know is how many people came to support somebody else. So we had people run up to the front and say, where are they? They got the 200, 300, 400, and it didn't look like we were going to make it. So they got the 500, 600, 700. Now the guy says if you get one of these sheets of paper, you get in. But if you don't, go home. All right, so it's 710, 720. Now when I look, when he was at 700, he's over there by that black fence. There is no way I'm going to make it in my mind. No way. So I know he gets to 710, 720, 730. He gets to 740. Now get this picture. Now here's where your choice comes in. All of you listen carefully. He gets to 741, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. He gets to 748. There are 4 people in front of me. 4 people. So he goes to the young lady next at 740. He says, are you going on the show? She says, yes. And something just in him just asked him, made him ask, how old are you? And she said 16. Oh, he said, oh, you can't go. So wait a minute now, okay, so the next girl, her friend, he says, how old are you? So he gives one out, so we're at 749 now. He says, how old are you? And she says 17. And he says, you can't go. So he looks at me and he gives me 750. I'm the last person, right? Wait, hold on, don't clap. You gotta, remember I told you gotta make a decision. Remember that young lady that got in front of me? Well, throughout the day we were going back and forth to the restroom. We just in a meeting. We didn't know what would come out of this, but she ended up behind me. All right, because we just got in line. She ended up behind me. Now I have the paper, but she doesn't. Now see, everybody in our group got in, except her. She was crying, tears. Everybody else, yeah, I made it. So I turned around and she was boo. Now, my question to you is, all of y'all clapping, what would you do? Now, does this paper truly belong to me, or would you give it to her? Now, I'm going to ask you this question because it's very important. Leo. This question is very, very important. So, Miss, what? Don't call me. Miss Portia? What would you do? Tell the truth now. Get that camera on Miss Portia. Get the camera on Miss Portia. What would you do?
I would give it to her.
You would?
Yes.
What's your name, ma'am?
Miss Burgess.
Miss Burgess.
I would give it to her.
You would give it to her? Okay. Ma'am, what would you do?
I'll let her go.
You let, oh, y'all good to marry. Okay. What would you do? She's like, I'm gonna keep mine.
Yeah.
All right, ma'am, what would you do?
It depends on where my heart was in that moment.
Okay, where your heart was? All right. All right, so what would you do? I want your honest answer. I don't want your fake answer. I want your honest answer. She crying her eyes out.
Some encouraging words, but I'm keeping my pace. Saying baby.
All right, Brooke, what would you do? Now, Brooke, what would you do?
I would probably give it to her.
You would? Okay. What would you do?
She was crying.
Oh no, she was booing. All right, so listen. So
She cried, I'd give it to her.
you see how y'all conflicted just like that? That's how I was. But I didn't have like 30 seconds to make a decision. It seemed like an eternity. So I'm thinking to myself, if I give her this paper, then my opportunity might be gone. But I thought about it, and I said this. I said, I had made a decision I was going to change my life. So I turned around and gave her the paper. Here's what I said to her. I said, ma'am, you take this paper. I said, it doesn't belong to me, but I said, promise me one thing. I said, promise me that whatever you do in life, you will get paid for and help somebody else, because there are a lot of people out there suffering. I said, a lot of people out there, you know, every opportunity you get is not just for you. I guess she must have got, overwhelmed by that. And she gave me the paper and she said, you keep it. And you know, out of all those 7,000 people, I was the only one chosen that day. But I truly believe that one decision changed my life. Had I said no, I don't believe I would have been chosen. That's just my thought. So here I am today to help people. I've been helping people since 2006. I've been helping people. I've helped hundreds of people lose weight. And let me say this to you. I have a program called Destination Transformation. It is so different, much different than what you see out here. All this P90X, insanity, all that stuff is good. But the reality is, they make a fortune off of people's misery. But everything you do in terms of your body, it starts inside your head. And if you can't change the picture in your head, your body's not gonna change. So I help people do that. And if anybody's interested, I'm starting a new group now. Take one of those cards, and what you need to do is go to their website and put your name and email address in there. And if you're ready to change, then I can help you. But until then, so I'm gonna show you what's in store for y'all. So everybody, here's what we're gonna do. Now the kids gonna work out too.
Yes.
All right. So you want the kids or the adults?
Give the kids, give the kids.
All right. The kids know you and love you. So let's put you the kids. All right. I'm gonna take the adults and we're gonna do a little something. I'm gonna just give y'all a little bit of what we do, what I do in my boot camps and what I do with my people.